Hey, what's up, YouTube? Figured I'd do a quick update on the supercharged Mustang that took the place of the other Lightning. Here's where we're at. So far, I have had time to drive it a little bit. I got it all cleaned up, put the stereo in it, and usually it's no big deal for a stereo, but I actually found a pretty cool thing for gauges. So I got an air-fuel ratio, an AFR wideband, and a boost gauge. In addition to all those fun ones, cleaned up the interior, came out pretty nice. It's actually a really nice car. Let's see what else. Cleaned up everything under the hood, just a good scrub. Got everything kind of looking pretty decent. Runs, drives, everything's fine. No real issues other than the steering sucks. The brakes are average. It handles like poo. I mean, it's like a real small boat is what this thing kind of handles like. So I got underneath it, started looking at things, and all the sway bar links are pretty much toast. There's no sway bar bushings on the front. Ball joints are clicking whenever I do the wiggle test when it's in the air. On the back, it's got all the stock control arms and sway bars, so I'm sure all those rubber bushings have seen better days. What else? Shocks are iffy. They seem okay. But not great. So, whatever. Those are kind of eh. So what I decided to do was just everything. I'm not going to go super nuts on this one because, well, I probably will, given my history. But I don't want to go super nuts. So, also, it's got BBK shorty headers to some X pipe, and then it Flowmasters and dumps right about here under the car. And it sounds okay and everything, but man, it just, you know how it is whenever it dumps under the car, you get like odors and it's loud and it's just eh. So I went ahead and started ordering parts. Initially I started with that. So I bought the Jegs H pipe because they were on sale for $100. And I bought the Summit Racing catback, which supposedly is pretty rowdy. I watched a couple videos of it. And then while I was at it, I was like, oh, well, I'll have it up in the air anyway. So I ordered a set of just inexpensive control arms for the back, which are, it's a little controversial. They don't last as long as like really good ones, but I'm only going to put a couple thousand miles a year in this car at the most. I think the Vet, I put 1,200 miles a year. This might see close to that. So like I was talking to my buddy, he's like, oh yeah, you get 20,000 miles out of those, the bushings in those. Dude, that's like 10 years. So this car will have be, and it's either its next owner or next iteration at that point. So we're going to try them. So I did those, and then I have poly bushings for the axle side because I'm sure those have seen better days. I ordered a set of, I got these sway bars. They're, I don't know what the rear is. I think they're the same size as the iBox. They're they're not SR. I can't think of it. They're not SVE. They're the older ones. I think they discontinued them from American Muscle. So they were $170 on eBay. So I grabbed those. There's my first KYB is showing up, so I've got a set of 4 KYB AGXs on the way. And then these are Maximum Motorsports, caster camber plates. Supposedly they're the best in the business. I ran them on my new Edge and really liked them, so got those. I also, while I was at it, because I'm like, well, if I got to do ball joints, then those rubber bushings up front are probably toast too. So I looked at brand new lower A arms, and while I was at it, I think the BMR had a decent deal on their tubular lower control arms. So I have BMR tubular lower control arms coming. New sway bar links are still on the way from Rock Auto, along with the other shocks. And so basically, I'm gonna keep the same springs because these springs seem fine. So it's gonna be all poly bushings in the arms because even the cheap bushings, or the cheap arms, have poly bushings. Lower control arms here, all 4 control arms in the back, KYB adjustable shocks, caster camber plates, and it already has subframe connectors. They've been smashed a bunch of times. They've been hit off stuff, but they're there. They seem fine. And then after that's all done, and I get that all together, I'll throw the exhaust on it. I need to weld in a bung for the wideband for this, for the wideband gauge in there. I'll take it over to Green Apple, who does all our alignments, and have them do as aggressive an alignment as they can to try to give me as much turn in as possible. I was reading up, and it sounds like we put a bunch of caster in it, and we'll probably throw some camber at it. Not a ton, but just, you know, try to make it as sporty as we can. These wheels and tires are probably springtime if I change them. I don't hate them, but everybody has them, so we'll figure that out. Brakes they're fine. They're just fox body brakes. I don't know what my plan is there. Nothing yet. Maybe go with some more aggressive pads and go from there. So anyway, I just wanted to update kind of where we're at. Kind of spiraled downward a little bit on the suspension here because, you know, you get into one thing and then turns out you might as well do the next because you're in there. And I don't think there's any other parts to go over. Sometime in probably the summer, I'm going to tow it up. There's a guy in New York that tuned this car 2 owners ago, and he knows it pretty well. And the tuner that tuned this car, I get blower surge and it idles high, and I don't love the tune on it. So we might get rid of the FMU and do some tuning on it and get this thing to where it should be. I doubt I'll ever spray the nitrous, but that's whatever. I ordered some from Hybrid Asian Detailing. He hooked me up with some IGL removers to get all the tint glue off the windows, because I'm going to detint the back windows. It's bubbling. Actually, the back was worse, but I hate that. I hate the bubbles. So let's see, we aimed the headlights the other night so I could actually see, so that was kind of cool. And so it's just kind of plugging away. We're getting there. I think the suspension's going to be a big step forward for this. It's got about 10 different oil leaks. So everything leaks underneath. I'll figure that out. I figured when I was underneath it. What else? Oh, I still have to figure out what my bump steer kit's going to be, if I'm going to do that. I'll do that once the suspension's all together. I figured I'll set it down and kind of stare at it for a while and decide what to do. And what was the other thing? Oh, it turns out this has a Tremec TKO. I think it's a 3550 in it. It has a 6-bolt shifter. So I ordered a longer shift handle because I hate that Hurst, to see if it helps with the leverage, because it's really notchy. And if it doesn't, and I'm also going to check the fluid and stuff while it's up in the air, and probably change on that and get it out to a, I think Synchromesh is what they take. I got to look. So figure out what fluid to put in that and do a fluid change. A lot of times that makes a big difference. And I think that's it for now. So basically just kind of sorting out all the suspension, getting it so it feels like it actually wants to steer and doesn't want to kill me. And at some point, I'd like to get this to the track and see what it'll do. It's not going to do anything on these all seasons, but I would definitely like to see what it'll run. The Vet in every way is faster and better, but this is still a pretty cool car. Lastly, probably in February, sorry, my garbage cans are blowing away, it's going to go for paint. Now, if that's painting the whole car, or if it's just painting the back bumper and the rust, I'll figure that out as I go, because that's the debate right now. So, but I don't need to come to that decision right this second. I got to stare at it a little while longer. So that's the update on the Mustang. As parts come in and I do some stuff, I'll make some videos of me actually doing the work and do some tutorials and stuff. So, all right, guys, that's it. Have a good one.